Good morning. In the last class, we have discussed about space technology, right? Different type of orbits we have discussed. Later, we have discussed about different type of missiles which we have. Then we have discussed about ISRO's future technologies. For example, a reusable launch vehicle technology demonstrator. Then scramjet engine. Scramjet means supersonic combustible ramjet engine. That means at the supersonic speed, it can take in oxygen from the atmosphere and sustain combustion. That kind of technology they're developing. Then we have discussed about India's milestone achievements in the space field and world's few important global expeditions. Then later we have discussed about the history of ISRO, etc. Right? Global Positioning System, America's navigation system, GLONASS, Global Navigation Satellite System, Russia's navigation system, Galileo, European Union's navigation system, the NAVIC, Indian navigation system, right? What is SpaceX mission? That is Starlink. Space docking experiment where two satellites. Actually, the objective of that program is in the future, ISRO is planning to have its own international space station called Bharatiya Antariksha Kendra. There, it should have the docking ability, right? The space shuttle which we launch, it should go and attach to the space station. Later, it should come back. Likewise, SpaceX mission where they have successfully tested a docking mechanism between two moving satellites. Then NISAR, for this year examination, SpaceX mission very much important. Later NISAR very much important. Then Aditya L1 mission very much important. NISAR, NASA, ISRO, synthetic aperture radar. For the very first time, we along with NASA America have made a collaborative attempt to launch which kind of satellite? Observation satellite, right? Majorly weather observation, etc. They have told, but it is a observation satellite in the field of defense also. Synthetic aperture radar system, observation satellite. Generally, the observation satellites will be launched to which orbit? Lower Earth orbit. Then Aditya L1 mission by ISRO to study about Sun. Very first mission by our Indian Space Research Organization to study Sun. Aditya L1 mission, where L1 means Lagrangian point 1. Lagrangian point 1, L1. Lagrangian points are also called as parking spots because the gravitational pull of Sun, both will be acting on that object. So that object will be kind of stationary, Lagrangian point. Okay. We have placed a satellite into the Lagrangian orbit to study Sun, the outer atmosphere, etc., etc. There are nearly seven payloads which we have sent. Very much important. We need to know about all the seven payloads, what it will do. In examination, what they might do. They will give 3-4 payloads and they might ask which among these are the part of Aditya L1 mission. Right? Very much important to know. Aditya L1 mission. Then recently we have also made that a reusable launch vehicle demonstration means kind of where we have made the successful landing in Chitradurga ATR range, aeronautical listing range. These are the important things to know. Then geotransfer orbit, is it circular, is it elliptical, is it can be both? Which kind of orbit it is? Geotransfer orbit. For what it is used? Geotransfer orbit. To transfer a satellite from lower orbit to the higher orbit, or one orbit to the other orbit, right? It is a heavily elliptical orbit. To the nearby point, we will launch the satellite first. Later, when it moves in the orbit, from the far point, we will launch it to the other orbit, right? That concept was used when we have launched the Mars orbiter mission, Mangalyana program. Mars orbiter mission, Chandrayana-1 program, we have made on which rockets? PSLV rocket, PSLV C11, PSLV C25 rockets. Then we have made Chandrayana-2. It was a failure. We have successfully placed the orbiter into the orbit, but we were not successful to place the lander and rover, right? Later in Chandrayana-3, we were successful in landing and also moving out the rover from the lander gear. What was the name of the lander? Vikram lander. Rover? Pragyan rover. Okay, Vikram lander, Pragyan rover. We have made Chandrayana-2 and Chandrayana-3 experiments on which rocket? The heaviest rocket which we have. Yes, GSLV Mach 3 or LVM3 we can say. LVM3, Launch Vehicle Mach 3, right? India is planning to do a space mission where it is planning to send human to International Space Station. The project name is Gaganayana. ISRO will do Gaganayana on which of its rockets? It should carry heavy payload. Payload capacity is more. Then which rocket it should use? LVM3, Launch Vehicle Mach 3. LVM3 it will use. Okay. Before we launch humans to space, we will be sending a robot named Vyoma Mitra. Vyoma means space, Mitra means friend. In the robotics chapter, we'll discuss about Vyoma Mitra. What are the basic specifications, right? Today we'll discuss about a different type of fuels. For combustion to happen, what do we need? First thing we need fuel. Then we need, see, for combustion to start, you have paper, right? It will burn. It is a fuel, right? You have petrol in your bike. It's a fuel. It will burn. What are all the things required other than fuel for the combustion to start or combustion to sustain, continue? One is fuel required. Then carbon dioxide, oxygen required, right? Have you ever tried fire pan? Or have you ever seen someone lighting camphor on their tongue? At least in the movies, videos you have seen, right? When a person lights camphor on the tongue and takes it inside his mouth, the fire combustion will stop. Why? There is no oxygen for the combustion to sustain, right? Likewise, if you have fire pan, when it goes inside, the combustion will stop because there is no oxygen present inside. Then how combustion will sustain in your vehicles? Inside your vehicle, how the combustion sustain? Because you have in your petrol vehicle, you have carburetor. Carburetor you have where air will be mixed with the fuel. Air plus fuel mixture is prepared so that combustion will sustain inside the engine chamber. That's why our vehicles are called as internal combustion engines, IC engines, right? We'll have a basic discussion about a IC engine. For combustion to happen, one is fuel required, then oxygen required, then I have petrol in a bowl, oxygen around here. Will the combustion start? No. It requires ignition temperature. It requires ignition temperature, minimum temperature to start the combustion. Minimum temperature required called ignition temperature. If in case there is a fire accident in a petrol pump, can you or will you suggest the use of water to douse the fire? Is it suitable to use water when a petrol pump catches fire? Can we do that? Can we use water? Have you ever seen in the old movies where final climax fight between the hero and villain beside a swimming pool, where a villain or hero enters into the pool, then they will pour petrol diesel into the pool and they will light it. Underneath, he will be safe without any burn injuries. He could not breathe, but he can stay, right? Water should douse or control the fire, right? Why it continues to burn? Water contains oxygen. Then we do generally use water in the fire extinguishing experiment, I mean trials, right? Then when a pile of paper starts to burn, if you use water, will it burn heavily or will it doze off? Will it stop? It will stop. Then in the petrol pump, they have asked in an examination, in the petrol pump, it is not suitable to use water because water and petrol are immiscible. If you pour petrol into it, the bowl of water, the petrol will float on the surface of the water. If you pour a spoon of ghee into the milk or into the water, will it float? It will float, right? Why? The density of oil is less than the density of water. Oil density is less than the density of water. That's why it will float. That is the reason you might have seen in many petrol pumps, they will be having fire extinguishing cylinders. It will contain either pressurized carbon dioxide or foam type of fire extinguisher, baking soda based fire extinguisher it will be having. Otherwise, in the old petrol pumps or railway stations, they would be having a bucket filled with sand, right? But water is not suitable. The reason, water will stay in the bottom, water due to heavier density, then oil will float on the surface and it will continue to burn. So where water cannot be used means to extinguish fire. One, where electrical equipments are there, water is not suitable. Then where this kind of liquid fuel, petrol, diesel, etc., water is not suitable. That's why you might have seen in many vehicle fire accidents, when the vehicle catches fire, any much amount of water you pour, the fire will not extinguish. One of the main reasons, this one. You have a bowl of petrol, it is burning. If you put in water, water will go and settle at the bottom and the combustion continues. There is no use of using water to douse the fire. Okay. Internal combustion engine, IC engine. You have petrol, fuel powered bike, scooter, right? It is two-stroke engine or four-stroke engine. Do you know the strokes? Do you know how combustion happen inside your vehicle? Do you know what mileage is? Do you know what cc is? How much cc your vehicle is? 100 cc, right? Generally, yours 150 cc. Yours? I don't know cc. Which vehicle do you have? Okay, maybe 100, 150 cc, right? See, you might have seen servo engine oil advertisement. Hmm? Engine oil advertisement where oil will be turning into many people holding their hands together, and it will reduce friction, and it will help in the piston to move free, right? Here, this is the cylinder, and there will be a inlet valve, there will be a outlet valve, and in your petrol vehicles there will be a spark plug. This piston inside the cylinder moves up and down, linear motion. The linear motion of the piston is converted into circular motion with the help of this connecting rod, and this is crankshaft. This will be coupled to the gear, etc. mechanism. Later it will power your wheel to move. Okay. In petrol engine called as spark ignition engine, SI engine, spark ignition. Earlier, RX100, Suzuki Samurai, Max 100, older kinetic Honda scooter, etc. Those vehicles sound was different, right? Those vehicles were two-stroke engine vehicles. Two-stroke means the combustion happened in two stages. Right now we have all the bikes, scooters, cars, etc. These are four-stroke engine. Why two-stroke engine production stopped? It is still in use, but new vehicle production stopped. Reason pollution was more. RX100, the white smoke you might have seen, right? Incomplete combustion would happen. Incomplete combustion. That is the reason. In older two-stroke vehicles, first stroke intake plus compression, second stroke power and exhaust. Right now we have four-stroke engine, right? Four-stroke engine here. See, in your normal bikes, you might have seen your engine like this, right? Splendor, etc. These fins difficult to wash during the time of washing your bike. These are there to cool the engine, air cooling fins. Then inside this, we will be having the cylinder and piston. In the normal 100, 200 cc bike, there will be single cylinder, single piston. In the bigger bikes, there will be two cylinder, two piston, usually. In normal 1000 cc, 1 liter, 1.5 liter cars, there will be 3 or 4 cylinders like this, which will be working in tandem. Here, your vehicle will be having only one cylinder, one piston, normal bike. That is represented to know about the 4 stages. In the first stage, what happens? In the first stage, normally all our petrol car will be having spark plug. That's why SI engine. Petrol engine is called as SI engine, spark ignition engine. Spark ignition engine, petrol engine. In the first stroke, what happens? In the first stroke, the inlet valve opens. The inlet valve opens, first stroke. We have carburetor only in petrol engine, not in the diesel engine, only in the petrol engine we have carburetor. In the carburetor, air plus fuel mixture is made. Intake stroke, air plus fuel mixture comes inside, air plus fuel mixture. First stroke, the piston goes down, takes in air plus fuel mixture. Then next stroke, compression. You feel the pressure while kick-starting the vehicle, right? That pressure is due to this thing. The piston is moving up, creating pressure, compression. Compression stroke, a second stroke. First stroke, intake. Second stroke, compression. Intake, combustion. Right now, combustion haven't started it. Then the next stroke, combustion stroke. When the piston is at the highest level, topmost level, at that point, maximum compression have happened, right? At that particular time, the spark plug will produce spark. Spark plug will produce spark. When air and fuel mixture is compressed, when it produces the spark, the combustion happens. This is combustion, or we can say power stroke. Power stroke. Here, when the combustion happens, what happens when if you put 1 liter of petrol into it and start it, ignite it and throw it, it will burst, right? Likewise, here it will start to expand. The piston moves down, expansion happens here, the power stroke. Later, in the exhaust stroke, the piston moves up, the burnt fuel gases goes out. Just imagine when you are idling also, in the idle also, all this thing is happening, your fuel is consuming. When you accelerate, this thing happens at a faster rate, that's it. When it is an idle, it is moving slowly. RPM, you have to dial at in your vehicle, right? One is tachometer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 RPM. This is tachometer. And the other is 20, 40, 60 kilometer per hour. This is speedometer. And below we have some kilometer. This is odometer. Odometer shows how many kilometers your vehicle has run till date. Okay. Speedometer, the speed at which you are moving. Tachometer, engine rotation. This crankshaft rotation. Rotations per minute, just imagine. Check in your vehicle, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4 into 1000 RPM. 1000 rotations per minute. When you accelerate, when you are going at higher speed, the red mark, it will be moving in 5000, 6000, 8000 in lesser vehicles, 5, 6000 rotations per minute, that is RPM. See, there will be huge amount of heat due to moment of friction. To avoid friction, to reduce the heat, we will be using engine oil. Engine oil will be here. Due to friction, due to not proper maintenance, this piston will wear out, and engine oil, if the engine oil comes here, then you will get low pickup, white smoke, etc. issues. That's why you need to maintain the vehicle properly by changing the engine oil at a regular interval. Spark ignition engine, it will be having spark plug and carburetor. Carburetor to create air plus fuel mixture, spark plug to create the spark. Each and every cycle, the spark plug will produce the spark. Just see any YouTube video. Just imagine 5,000 rotations, 5,000 times per minute it will be producing the spark. Just like blinking, it will be producing the spark continuously. That will be happening inside your vehicle. That's why the combustion is happening inside this confined chamber, right? That's why internal combustion engine, IC engine, internal combustion engine. Then we have diesel. Diesel engine is called as CI engine, compression ignition engine. CI engine, compression ignition engine. Have you ever drove any diesel vehicle, diesel car? This will be also having 4 stages: intake, compression, power, exhaust, 4-stroke. But the difference here is diesel engine will be not having carburetor. It will not have any carburetor. It will be having fuel injector. Fuel injector. In the first stroke, only air comes in. Air comes in. In the compression stroke, air will be compressed. Air will be compressed. To the compressed air due to friction, due to the molecules coming closer, the temperature will be increased. Temperature will be increased. Now the temperature of this air is increased. At this point, what happens? The power stroke, the fuel injector will spray fuel, will inject a fuel. The diesel fuel injector nozzle will be very, very minute, a small hole will be there. It will pour some amount of, spray some amount of diesel into this chamber. When diesel is sprayed into the hot air, the combustion will start. No ignition material, spark plug is not there. Spark plug is not there. Just by the hot air, here the combustion will start. Diesel engine. Later in the exhaust stroke, the gases will move out. In the diesel engine, very important, turbocharger is there. Turbocharger. See, in recent days, the technology has changed. In recent new petrol bikes also we are having fuel injector, right? In my bike I have fuel injector. In the new scooters also they are having fuel injectors. reason to increase the efficiency, that's it. But the petrol bike, the petrol car will 100% have the spark plug. Will be having the spark plug. Carburetor will also be there. But in the diesel vehicle, carburetor will not be there. Only the air is intaken later. Combustion happens due to the fuel injector, compressed air when the diesel is pressed. That is the reason. If you use your car regularly, then you can take diesel earlier. Earlier, it people used to say. Otherwise, if you don't use it regularly, it is suggested to purchase a petrol car. Why? If you park your diesel car for longer duration, it might not start. But right now the issue is not there because many glow plugs are used. Preheating, air preheating devices are there. So the combustion will start. No issue right now. But right now also they are using what? Fuel injector. Spark plug is not there. That's why the name compression ignition. Compressing the air, starting the ignition. This turbocharger. Have you heard the name turbocharger? In petrol car, the initial pull will be there. But in the diesel vehicle, initial pull might not be there. But once the turbocharger kicks in, once it works, starts, the pull will be high. Simply, let's compare a 1.5 liter petrol engine car, 1.5 liter diesel engine car. The load carrying capacity, the energy produced will be more in the diesel car. And the efficiency mileage is also, let's say for 1.5 liter petrol engine car, it might be giving the mileage about 14-15 kilometer per liter. This diesel car will give 18-20 kilometer per liter. Efficiency is nearly 20% more when compared to same capacity petrol engine vehicle. What turbocharger will do? See, have you ever used the normal firewood stove or the old water heating? Old firewood furnace kind of thing, have you ever used? If you supply more air, the combustion will be better, right? If you have a pile of paper, you have ignited it, a pile of dry leaves, it is smoking out. When you blow in air, or if you add some air, the combustion will start, flame will come, right? Likewise, here also, the turbocharger, the exhaust air will be going out, right? Here they have placed a coupling mechanism where when more amount of air is going out, more amount of gases is going out, it will in turn help to push in more amount of oxygen inside. If you press the throttle more, if the gases going out is more, then it will help the oxygen to come in more. That's why the combustion happens better, and it will also help the device will be attached to the exhaust mechanism. Here the turbocharger, the air coming in will be preheated by using the heat from the exhaust air. The exhaust air will be hot, right? Exhaust will be hot. That temperature will be used to preheat the incoming air. That's why the combustion will be better. Turbocharger will not work in the initial few minutes, kilometers. Once the temperature, the speed kicks in, then it will activate turbocharger. Which one is more efficient, petrol, diesel? Same capacity diesel engine will be 20% more efficient. Then why we are not having diesel cars these days in many brands? True, right? Many cars already have stopped the production of diesel vehicles, the small cars. Reason? Pollution. When compared to petrol, the diesel fuel pollution is more high. Harmful pollutants are more. That is the reason. That is the reason diesel usage is less, or we are curbing these days. And we are having a. Have you heard the name catalytic converter? BS4, BS6, you know, right? Bharat Stage 4, Bharat Stage 6. This is the emission norms set by our Indian government, Indian emission norms. Bharat Stage 4 means how much pollutants are allowed by so and so cc of vehicle. How much pollution is allowed. BS4, more amount of pollution was allowed. BS6, pollution allowed was less. That is the reason. Do you know, in Royal Enfield Classic 350 bike, earlier the sound was different. The BS6 vehicles, the sound is different. Reason, you might have seen, you might have seen the silencer. The silencer now has a special this kind of attachment. Have you seen? Next time, observe. This is the catalytic converter. Catalytic converter. It will convert the exhaust pollutants into a chemical form, and that chemical will be deposited here. This will be having a lifespan 50,000 kilometer, 40,000 kilometer. Later we need to change this catalytic converter. This is kind of a filter, catalytic converter, right? In few vehicles, the catalytic converter, platinum based material was used. That's why you might have heard many Maruti Suzuki Eco cars, catalytic converter was stolen because platinum was there in that catalytic converter. These days, if you want to purchase a diesel, if you want to purchase a diesel car, there is so much issue. Main thing, due to the catalytic converter, due to the catalytic converter, more amount of back thrust pressure on the engine, more amount of carbon will be deposited in the engine itself. That's why in last few months, if you have traveled in any highways, you might have seen the name DEF. Have you seen? AdBlue, DEF. AdBlue is the brand. Brand. This is one. Have you seen? Have you heard the name? Next time when you travel on the highways, have a look around where generally where the big trucks stop, there will be a separate small setup which will be selling this fluid, DEF, diesel exhaust fluid. Diesel exhaust fluid. This is the important thing which you need to know. Diesel exhaust fluid. This will be added, injected to the exhaust system to reduce emission. Diesel exhaust fluid. This should be used. Otherwise, the catalytic converter health will go down and it will stop working. That will in turn affect the vehicle. Each and every diesel vehicle, the small diesel cars also require this DEF and a regular cleaning of the catalytic converter. Otherwise, the system will be blocked. Diesel exhaust fluid. Then you have heard about CNG powered cars, compressed natural gas powered bike, Freedom, Bajaj. You have bikes also, CNG. Are CNG bikes SI engine or CI engine bikes? Compressed ignition or spark ignition? Yes, because in that CNG vehicle car, we can use both CNG and petrol, both hybrid options will be there, right? In many of the cars, CNG will be optional. In few vehicles, the 100% it will be fueled by CNG. In few vehicles, petrol plus CNG, spark ignition engine. We'll discuss about different type of fuels. Biofuel. Biofuel means bio means what? Life. Biofuel means the fuel that is produced, generated by using biological matter. It may be plant animal waste, or it may be plant animal dead bodies, decayed, decomposed. It might be biofuel. Then let's see biogas, compressed natural gas, LPG, liquefied petroleum gas, coal gas, petrol, diesel, gasohol, water gas, producer gas. Water gas, it's a fuel, water gas. Biofuel derived from the biomass, plant animal waste or plant animal based materials. The biofuel, bioethanol, biodiesel, etc. Biopetrol is not a biofuel. Biodiesel is a biofuel. Bioethanol is a biofuel. See, there is a big controversy which was going on. It was curbed during the time of election. Have you heard about E20? E20 fuel. Have you heard E20? All our few years back, few years back, Nitin Gadkari told in the future, by blending petrol with ethanol, we will reduce the petrol price by 50 rupees to 50 rupees, around 50 rupees he told, or below 50 rupees he told. Later, right now, what they are doing, what the government is doing, they have started blending petrol with ethanol. Ethanol is a natural biofuel. Okay. Ethyl alcohol. For example, let's say simply, when you ferment grape, when you ferment sugarcane or any biomass with yeast, you know how wine is made? By crushing grapes, adding some sugar, placing it in airtight container, later adding yeast and mixing it. Yeast will start the process of fermentation. Anaerobic respiration, fermentation. There, wine, alcohol, ethyl alcohol is generated. Ethyl alcohol, it is edible. But here, the ethyl alcohol developed from various biomass. It is being used as an additive blend in our petrol. Generally, where our petrol comes from means it's a fossil fuel, right? It's a fossil fuel. It comes from beneath the earth. It was produced from millions of years ago due to the dead and decaying biomass stored in high pressure and temperature. It was produced. crude oil was generated. Later we have extracted petrol, diesel, kerosene, etc. from that crude oil, petroleum, let's say, right? That petroleum which we were using is suitable for the vehicles which we have right now. If we start to use this ethyl blended petrol, the older vehicles, not the newer vehicles, the older vehicles which are not capable of ethyl blended or biofuel petrol, it will start to corrode the inner layer of your petrol tank, the inner parts of your piston cylinder. It will rust, rust due to the presence of oxygen, etc., present in that biomass. That is the problem. Actually, once upon a time, we had an option of leaded and unleaded petrol. The normal petrol which we were using was the one which contained lead. Lead is a poisonous thing. The main constituent of air pollution in the earlier days was lead due to the pollution from the vehicles. Later, government thought, okay, let's avoid air pollution by eliminating lead from petrol. And they gave an option: normal petrol 50 rupees, unleaded petrol 50 to 53 rupees. Later, completely they have switched it to unleaded petrol. The petrol which we are getting right now is unleaded. It is not having lead in it. The XP95, etc. petrol, power, special petrol which we get is a petrol with higher octane rating. Octane rating is the quality rating of the fuel petrol. If the octane rating is high, combustion will be better. That's it. That's it. Octane rating. The rating of fuel for petrol is octane rating. For diesel, it is C10 rating. C10 rating. Okay. Generally, octane rating of the petrol we are using right now is around 85, 88, 90. The extra 95 octane, 90 plus octane rated fuel is little costly. That's it. Here, E20 policy of India. Very, very important. It will be asked. It might be asked, at least in the preliminary or mains examination. E20 policy. What is E20 policy? Blending ethanol fuel, biofuel into the petrol. Why it is controversial? They haven't give us any option for the older vehicles to use the normal petrol. No option is there. See, right now, in any of the petrol bunks, have you seen the option of E20 petrol or the normal petrol? No, right? But just Google it and check later after the class. Indian Oil, Bharat Petroleum, Nayara, etc. fuel suppliers are there, right? They have already started blending ethanol with the normal petrol. The blend percentage is different in different suppliers. So what happens? What is the problem? Your vehicle will start to rust. What is the advantage? Advantage actually is, one is instead of using the normal fossil fuel, we are shifting to the biofuel that is environmentally sustainable, friendly. One thing. The other very important thing, the rate, cost, price will reduce. But they are not. The government is not transferring that reduction in fuel price to us. They are enjoying the benefit right now. But in future, if once the corrosion starts, once people find it difficult to handle, then they will retaliate, protest. Later, they will reduce the price. But they have already started using ethanol blending in petrol. In diesel, they will blend the biodiesel, the methane blending they are doing to the diesel. You might have seen in many Innova cars or the bigger cars, or in many BMTC bus, above the fuel tank, the sticker biodiesel. Have you seen anywhere? Biodiesel means The vehicle is capable of running with the biodiesel fuel. Biodiesel means not 100% biodiesel, blended 80% normal diesel, fossil fuel, 20% methanol blended. Have you ever heard about the name Jetropa? Jetropa. Jetropa is a plant. It's a plant which gives a small, tiny fruit, not the edible fruit. Jetropa. The seed inside it can be used to produce biofuel, biodiesel. The Jetropa. You cannot directly use it by the various process that can be used. Jetropa. First generation biofuel developed from the biomass is categorized into first generation, second generation, third generation, and fourth generation biofuels. First generation biofuel produced from edible sugar, starch, and other food crops. For example, simply by the fermentation of baggage from the sugar industry, the waste from the sugar industry, the ethyl alcohol, ethanol is produced, right? That is the first generation biofuel. The biofuel produced from the straws of many plants that can be called as first generation biofuel, developed from the food crops, that is first generation. Second generation developed from non-edible plants. These plants are there only for this purpose, right? See, sugarcane main use to produce sugar, jaggery, etc. Right? This alcohol production is the byproduct, by process. But here, the plant's dry matter, etc., is used to produce the biofuel, second generation biofuel. Then third generation biofuel by using algae, microbes, etc. Algal fuel. Fourth generation biofuel by the help of genetically engineered plants, genetically modified plants. High amount of carbon can be developed. This is the fourth generation biofuel producing plant, the Jetropa plant. Very important plant. You need to know the name of the plant. This plant is commonly seen in southern part of Karnataka, India. You might have seen, but you might haven't noticed it. That's it. It is there around us. In my village, so many plants are there. Generally, it's grown like a weed plant, Jetropa. But we cannot grind and make juice out of it and add it to the diesel. It's a separate process which requires the extraction of fuel from it. Okay. Jetropa biofuel, it can be used as an additive to diesel additive, methanol. First generation biofuel from food crop, second generation biofuel from non-edible crops. Then third generation algae microbes, fourth generation genetically engineered, genetically modified plants, fourth generation biofuel. First generation made from food crops. Second generation made from non-food sources, non-food crops or non-edible crops. Third generation from algae or microbes. Fourth generation by genetically engineered crops or microbes. When you write the answer for the mains examination, Generally, it will be for 15, 20 max, 1 to 3 pages. You need to know all these things, basics. Pradhan Mantri G1 Yojana, Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas. G1 means Jaiva Indhana. Jaiva Indhana means biofuel. Jaivika Indhana. Jaiva Indhana. Vatavarana Anukula Fasala Avashesha Nivarana Yojana. Every year during the time of Feb March, during the time of budget, you will get a magazine Yojana. There you will get all the previous years and the future plannings, new schemes related issue that you need to cover. No, you will be an administrator, right? You should know all the schemes, programs that currently government of India is running and the future schemes which it will be planning. You should be knowing each and every scheme. In every ministry, there are so many departments. In every department, there will be a number of schemes. But you should know the important schemes. The ministry's trademark, important scheme, at least. This scheme, Pradhana Mantri Jeevan scheme, for providing financial support to integration of bioethanol projects, to set up a second generation ethanol projects. If you are planning to set up a bioethanol production plant, second generation means non-food product or non-food crops, right? That's what. Maximum financial assistance will be 150 crore per project financial assistance, 15 crore per project for demonstration, means the basic experimental project. There are so many schemes like this which will give free financial aid. By reading, knowing about many schemes, if you don't get into the service, you can be an entrepreneur by taking the advantage of any of these schemes. One of my friends, he started a small fishery industry at my hometown. He fell in shortage of the feedstock, the food for the fish. Then he went in search of the food, means the small worms, the flies, that food required for the fish. Later he went to the Ministry of Fisheries, etc., the state government ministry. Then they told, there is an opportunity, there is a scheme going on. We will allot you a big lake. There you can grow your own food, means the small worms, the small flies, etc. We will give all the financial support, we will give all the technical support, but we need an entrepreneur who can handle that. He got opportunity, he got into it, and recently, last financial year, he got some futuristic entrepreneur award or some kind of award from the state government, right? Likewise, he invested less than 10 lakhs. All the financial aid he got from the state government. Likewise, there are so many schemes. By 2050, International Energy Agency, the intergovernment organization, is having a goal of achieving 25% of the world's transportation of fuel demand by biofuel. Means right now we are using petrol, diesel majorly, right? They are planning to cut down the fossil fuel usage and convert it into biofuel, 25%. Major reason, pollution, to cut down pollution. See, in Delhi, the problem of smog is there regularly, right? The air quality index is so low that if you go and stay in Delhi outdoors for a day or two, your eyes will start to burning kind of sensation. It will redden. Reason, that much amount of pollution is there. Smoke plus fog combines to form smog, a misty kind of atmosphere will be covered with smoke. Difficult to breathe, difficult to. Even smoking a cigarette is healthier compared to breathing air there. That much pollution, right? In Delhi, many years ago, the local government, means the Delhi municipality, started using CNG powered buses and CNG powered trucks, autos for garbage collection, etc. The main reason of the switch is diesel is more polluting. That's why they have switched to CNG many years ago. In Karnataka, we haven't switched to CNG. We have directly switched from diesel to EV. Right now, they are also switching to EV, but they have switched to CNG. The reason was to control, to curb pollution. Compressed natural gas, biogas, less polluting compared to diesel. 2018, India launched National Biofuel Policy. National Biofuel Policy. They have set a target of 20% ethanol blend in petrol. They have started without any official intimation. The policy got many backlash from the public. That's why they started without informing us. And 5% blending in diesel by 25, 26. They have already started the blending. E20 policy. E20 means 20% ethanol blending in petrol. 20% ethanol blending in petrol. Gobar Dhan scheme. Galvanizing organic bioagro resources. Converting cattle dung and solid waste into biogas and compost. Gobar means cattle dung, converting that into biogas, biofuel, gobar gas. Gobar gas is nothing but CH4 methane. Compressed gas is also CH4 methane. Both are chemically one and the same, but the method of production is different. That's it. Repurpose used cooking oil, Uruko project. This is the program aiming to collect the used cooking oil and converting it into biodiesel. Converting the used cooking oil into biodiesel. Biogas. CH4 methane, biogas. CH4 methane, biogas. It will be having very less amount of hydrogen sulfide, some amount of moisture and some silicones, etc. Biogas. Methane plus carbon dioxide. CH4 methane burns in the presence of oxygen to produce carbon dioxide, little amount of water vapor plus heat. The combustion of CH4 methane. Where methane is present, compressed natural gas, biogas, gobar gas, marshy gas in the marshy land. Then in the paddy fields, methane is released. Methane. Here, biogas, CH4 methane. Compressed natural gas, that is also CH4 methane. Methane. Ministry of Natural Petroleum and Natural Gas started Satat scheme. Satat. Sustainable alternative towards affordable transportation. Presently, for transportation, we are using diesel, majorly diesel for the heavy vehicles. We are planning to have a sustainable alternative that is nothing but biodiesel, biofuel. Production of 15 million metric tons of biofuel, compressed biogas CBG by 2023-24. They have started already. Preparation is being done. Satat scheme, sustainable alternative towards affordable transportation. Compressed natural gas CNG. The major composition is CH4 methane. We also have some amount of ethanol, propane, etc. in it. Majorly CH4 methane, compressed natural gas. Among all the fossil fuels, name some fossil fuels. Fossil fuel. Fossil fuel. Coal, petroleum, natural gas. From the petroleum, we do get petrol, diesel, kerosene, etc. etc. Right? These are fossil fuels. Among all these fossil fuels, petrol, diesel, kerosene, coal, natural gas, etc., which is least polluting means. Which among all these natural gas is least polluting means? Natural gas. Among all these fossil fuels, natural gas is least polluting. Reason, it consists less amount of sulfur. Sulfur content is less. That's why it's less polluting compared to other. Clean fuel, less pollution compared to what? Compared to other fossil fuels. Compared to other fossil fuels, it is less polluting, cleaner. Biocompressed natural gas, CNG, from the organic waste or animal waste or plant waste in the digester. It is stored in airtight container where the decomposition happens and natural gas or biogas is produced. That biogas is mixed with compressed natural gas that can be used for household uses as well as industrial uses. CBG plus CNG. CBG means compressed biogas. CNG, compressed natural gas. Compressed biogas plus compressed natural gas. By 24-25, voluntary blending means it's your wish. You can blend or not. Then 25-26, 1% blend compulsory. 26-27, 3% blend. Then 27-28, 4% blend. 28-29, 5% blend they're planning. The normal CNG vehicles we have right now, that will be blended with compressed biogas. The natural gas is a fossil fuel, right? We are adding biofuel to it. Reason? To reduce cost. Very important reason, to reduce pollution. And liquefied petroleum gas, LPG, propane plus butane, saturated or unsaturated hydrocarbons, these are saturated. Alkane, ANE, right, single bond saturated hydrocarbon, propane and butane. Ethyl mercaptan is used to detect the leak, the pungent smell additive, ethyl mercaptan. This will not help in increasing the efficiency. This is there only to indicate whether if there is any gas leak happening, ethyl mercaptan. This ethyl mercaptan is also called as ethanethiol. Ethanethiol, ethyl mercaptan. Liquefied petroleum gas, LPG. Coal gas. In the last prelims, they have asked a question about coal gas or something, right? We discussed a few days ago. They have asked a question. Coal gas. How coal gas is produced means coal gas by heating coal in the absence of air. By heating coal. Coal andra kallidlu. Coal, right? Charcoal andra charcoal face wash, face mask. Charcoal is produced. It can be produced by us by burning any wood. If you burn wood, then the remaining matter available, that is charcoal. Generally, the coconut shells burnt to half, that is charcoal, right? The coal extracted from the earth crust, that is the coal. That is the fossil fuel, coal. Here, by heating coal in the absence of air, in the absence of air, we will get the gas called coal gas that can be used in lighting and heating. Coal gas. Here we have hydrogen, methane, majorly methane, carbon monoxide, ethylene, etc. Coal gas. Rarely in UPSC examination they have asked. We'll just have a look. How many number of carbon atoms are present in the fossil fuels? In other SSC, etc. central government examinations, they have asked many times. See, all these are hydrocarbons, right? All the petroleum fossil fuels are hydrocarbons. Hydrocarbons means they are made up of carbon and hydrogen. Carbon and hydrogen, hydrocarbons. For example, methane, 1 carbon, 4 hydrogen, right? Methane, 1 carbon and 4 hydrogen. Likewise, petrol or gasoline will be having C5 to C10, 5 to 10 carbon molecules, 5 to 10 carbon molecules. Then diesel, 10 to 15 carbon molecules. Paraffin wax, MENA, 20 to 40. Asphalt means the tar which we put on the road is a byproduct of petroleum. Tar is the byproduct of petroleum. Asphalt, 40 plus carbon atoms. 5 to 10 petrol, 10 to 15 diesel. At least these two. We need to know, that's it. See, you have petroleum, right? Petroleum, crude oil. Crude oil is measured in barrels. Barrel. The rate of crude oil global market price will continuously change, fluctuate. That's why many a times our politicians, when we ask them, last time when we are not in power, you are fighting for reducing the LPG and petrol diesel price. Right now the price is high. Why? Then they will say the crude oil rate is very high these days. Actually, it is not, but they used to say that, right? Crude oil sold in barrels. 1 barrel is 159 liters. 159 liters. 1 barrel means that crude oil is taken, and from the crude oil, petrol, diesel, kerosene, these are separated. Crude oil consists all these things. Okay. What is the process by which from the crude oil. These things can be separated, means the process is called as fractional distillation. Fractional distillation, the process of separating petrol, diesel, etc. from crude oil. Fractional distillation. The fractional distillation chamber will be like this. Means the melting point, the boiling point of the fluids will be different. The boiling point of petrol is different. The boiling point of diesel is different. Here, one fuel will be separated. Here, the other fuel. Here, the other fuel. Likewise, when the boiling point of the fluids are different, those kind of fluids can be separated by the process called fractional distillation. For example, alcohol and water can be separated by fractional distillation. Fractional distillation. During the time of distillation, fractional distillation, we will get the light distillates, liquefied petroleum gas LPG, naphthalene, the product naphtha, then gasoline, nothing but petrol. Then middle distillates we get kerosene, then railroad fuel, nothing but diesel we get. Then heavy distillates we get wax, asphalt, lubricating oil, etc. Otherwise we get the solid coke. Coke is like coal itself, it will burn, it can be used as a fuel. Here, the wax, Vaseline, paraffin wax, that is produced from this only. That's why we call it as petroleum jelly also, right? Petroleum jelly. Extracted from the petroleum. Then the lubricating oil, asphalt, the tar, the road tar. It's a byproduct of petroleum. Asphalt, tar. Gasohol, petrol plus ethanol. The blending of petrol with ethanol. This is not in the gaseous form. It is in the liquid form only. Gasohol. Why? Gasoline means petrol, right? Gasoline. In Western countries, they will say, let's fill up some gas. That is not literally gas. That is gasoline, petrol, the short form, right? Petrol plus ethanol blending. Here, we are blending petrol with ethanol. Reason? Why? To reduce pollution, to reduce cost. That's it. To reduce pollution. It is cheaper than petrol, and performance is better. That's why. It produces less carbon monoxide and sulfur dioxide. Pollution is less and cost is less, cheaper. Gasohol. But only problem, the older vehicle parts will start to rust. That is the issue by blending ethanol with petrol. Water gas, 1:2 ratio, carbon monoxide plus hydrogen. Water gas. Yes, 1:2 ratio, carbon monoxide plus hydrogen. Carbon monoxide plus hydrogen. Water gas. You need to know the composition. Water gas. 1 carbon monoxide, 2 hydrogen. Water gas. Called blue gas. It's in gaseous form only. Fuel. Blue gas. Used in the organic synthesis of various chemicals, in the production of chemicals. Used in welding as a fuel. Gas welding. Generally, we use acetylene, right? Instead of acetylene, we can also use this water gas. Then during the process of glass making and other high temperature industrial applications as a fuel, industrial fuel, you can use water gas. Water gas means 1 carbon monoxide, 2 hydrogen. Water gas. It's a fuel, gaseous form fuel, water gas. Then we have producer gas. Producer gas. 1:2 ratio, carbon monoxide plus nitrogen. Carbon monoxide plus hydrogen means water gas. Carbon monoxide plus nitrogen means producer gas. Producer gas. 1 carbon monoxide plus 2 nitrogen. Producer gas. Industrial fuel, also used during iron steel manufacturing. Fuel, industrial fuel. 1 carbon monoxide plus 2 nitrogen. Water gas, carbon monoxide plus nitrogen. Flammable, but not suitable for inhaling. Poisonous mixture. Carbon monoxide plus hydrogen. Why it is called as poisonous? Due to the presence of carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide. See, carbon monoxide is more harmful than carbon dioxide. If we inhale carbon dioxide, what happens? If we inhale carbon dioxide, we don't have oxygen to breathe here. Only carbon dioxide is present. What will happen? We cannot breathe. Simply, right? We could suffocate. That is the issue, right? But if carbon monoxide is present around us, carbon monoxide, if we inhale carbon dioxide, sorry, monoxide, it will mix with our hemoglobin. What is the function of hemoglobin? Function of hemoglobin? It carries oxygen. Oxygen carrier of human blood. It gives red color to blood. It is present inside RBC, red blood cell, hemoglobin. Very important thing in our blood, hemoglobin. Hemoglobin's main function is to carry oxygen. It will lose the ability to carry oxygen. It will mix with carbon monoxide to form carboxyhemoglobin. Carboxyhemoglobin. Then you cannot breathe. Even though some amount of oxygen is there, you cannot breathe because your hemoglobin is already mixed with carbon monoxide. That is the issue. That's why during the time of many fire tragedies, many people will die due to suffocation. That too, the problem will be with carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide. I have heard a news, I read it in one of the newspaper, where in a small confined home they have purchased in a city like Bangalore, where they have arranged a puja, home warming ceremony, where they have had a homa, etc. Okay. In the daytime, they had that ritual. Many things were burnt. Later, during the night time, they have closed all the windows, exhaust, etc. They slept. A lady died due to suffocation. A lady died. Later, during the post-mortem, they got to know it was due to carbon monoxide inhalation. By inhaling carbon monoxide, her ability to take in oxygen reduced and she died. Very harmful carbon monoxide. See how water gas is produced. Water gas is the combination of carbon monoxide plus hydrogen. Water gas. It is produced by passing steam over red hot coke or coal. By passing steam over red hot coke or coal, it is produced. How coal gas is produced? Coal gas. By passing air or what? In the absence of air, if the coal is heated, coal gas is produced. In the absence of heat. Here, coal or coke is heated to the red hot condition, then passing steam through it, water gas is produced. Then producer gas 1:2 ratio carbon monoxide plus what? Nitrogen. Producer gas nitrogen, mixture of carbon monoxide and nitrogen, made by burning coal or coke with air and steam. With air and steam, producer gas is generated. Producer gas. Alcohol, not the edible alcohol. Alcohol, the fuel. Okay. Here, methyl alcohol or methanol. See, which alcohol is edible? Ethyl alcohol or methyl alcohol? Edible alcohol. Alcohol percentage present in normal liquor 8, 12, 24, etc. percentage. Alcohol. Edible alcohol is ethyl alcohol, ethanol. Ethyl alcohol, edible alcohol. Alcohol present in wine, beer, brandy, whiskey, rum, etc. Which alcohol is harmful? If you drink this alcohol, you might lose vision. You might lose your life. That kind of harmful alcohol. Methyl alcohol, methanol. In an examination, they have asked, a person lost his vision due to a liquor tragedy. Which liquor he might have consumed? He might have consumed this methanol, methyl alcohol, harmful alcohol. This is also called as wood spirit. This is toxic, not edible, not edible. It can be used as a fuel. It is having anti-freezing property. Anti-freezing means at very low temperature, it will not freeze into the solid form. It will not freeze. Anti-freezing property. Generally, methyl alcohol will be blended with diesel, methanol, methyl alcohol. See, in 2023, March, BMTC buses started blending 15% methanol to their diesel buses. Right now also they are using 50% methanol blended diesel. What is the direct advantage which they get? Cheaper, less costly, cost reduction. What is the advantage to the environment? Harmful gases will be liberated in less quantity. Environmental friendly, less pollution. MD15 means methanol diesel blended. 15% blend is there, that's why MD. E20 because ethanol blended in 20% ratio. There are many color coding for the methanol, methyl alcohol, methanol, blue methanol, gray methanol, etc. First, brown methanol, methanol produced from coal. Production from the coal, brown methanol. Then gray methanol produced from natural gas. Then blue methanol produced by blue hydrogen and carbon dioxide. Then green methanol called biomethanol produced from biomass. So which is the better, best, good source of using methanol? That is green methanol from the biomass. Brown from coal, gray from CNG, blue from blue hydrogen and carbon dioxide, green from biofuel. Ethanol, ethyl alcohol, edible or what? Yes, edible, ethyl alcohol, ethanol. C2H5OH, OH means alcohol. OH, alcohol. Spirit, edible alcohol, nothing but Then, due to the fermentation process, this alcohol is liberated. For example, C6H12O6 glucose in the absence of oxygen. It divides into ethyl alcohol, ethanol. Then it will release carbon dioxide and energy in the form of ATP, adenosine triphosphate. Ethyl alcohol is generated. This is fermentation. Fermentation of any biomass by the presence of yeast fermentation. Used in the manufacturing of gasohol. Gasohol means what? Yes, gasohol is nothing but gasoline plus ethanol, not methanol, ethanol. Ethanol plus petrol plus ethanol, right? Then in the soap manufacturing, then in the preservative, this can be used. Ethanol, ethyl alcohol. Hydrogen, very important future fuel. Do we have any hydrogen fueled vehicles in India? Yes, we do have. Do we have any hydrogen fueled vehicles, small cars, bikes in India that we can purchase? No, we don't have right now. We don't have right now hydrogen fueled. Do we have, means we in the sense the world, have any hydrogen powered train? Yes, we do have hydrogen powered train. Do we have hydrogen powered truck? Yes, in India we have hydrogen powered truck. Not many, pilot basis. Testing pilot basis we do have hydrogen. See, among the fossil fuels, name some fossil fuels. Coal, petroleum, natural gas, etc. Right? Among these fossil fuels, which is least polluting? That is nothing but natural gas. Natural gas is least polluting because harmful pollutants are less, sulfur content is less, right? Among all the fuels, biofuel, fossil fuel, among all the fuels, which is the least polluting or with no pollutions, that is hydrogen. Zero pollution. What? Zero pollution. Hydrogen. Cleanest burning fuel. If hydrogen burns in the presence of oxygen, it will produce water vapor plus heat. It will produce what? Water. No carbon footprint. Zero carbon emission. Zero carbon emission. Hydrogen. By using energy, by the process of electrolysis, hydrogen is separated and that can be used. There are many methods of getting hydrogen. Do we have hydrogen around us right now in the form of gas? Do we have hydrogen? Is hydrogen the heavier gas or the lighter gas? In the periodic table, how many elements do we have? 118 elements we have. Which is the lightest element in the periodic table, or which is the lightest element which we know? Helium is the second lightest element. Second lightest. First lightest is hydrogen. Helium, mass number 2, atomic number 2. Hydrogen, mass number 1, lightest element. But we don't have hydrogen here. Reason? It is lighter, right? Very light, right? It will be present in the outer atmosphere, not here. Because it is lighter, it moves up. So we can produce it from various methods, process. Hydrogen. Hydrogen, lightest element in the periodic table. First element in the periodic table. Weight of the hydrogen is 100% less than our air around us, atmospheric air. very rarely found in the purest form because it will always be combined with other elements to form a compound. It will be in the form of compound hydrogen. At standard temperature and pressure, the properties of hydrogen, it is non-toxic. We can inhale, no problem. It is non-metallic. It is not a metal. Odorless. It is not odorless. Tasteless. Colorless. But highly combustible. It's a fuel. In which rocket do we use hydrogen as a fuel? We have, which are all the rockets do we have? The PSLV Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle, GSLV Geosynchronous Satellite Launch Vehicle, GSLV Mark 3, then Small Satellite Launch Vehicle. 4 types of rockets we do have right now. The future will be NGLV, New Generation Launch Vehicle. That will replace PSLV in near future. If that happens next year, by the time of examination, you should know that NGLV, New Generation Launch Vehicle. Then in which rocket do we use the cryogenic engine? The third stage cryogenic engine. Minus 183 degrees Celsius oxygen, minus 253 degrees Celsius hydrogen. We use cryogenic engine is in GSLV rocket, GSLV and GSLV Mark 3 rockets we use cryogenic engine. Okay. Hydrogen, zero emission, no carbon footprint, hydrogen fuel. It can be used in the fuel cell or internal combustion engine. Directly it can be used for combustion and energy is produced, and fuel cell means that will produce electricity. Hydrogen fuel cell. That electricity can be used to run the normal EV vehicles. The car which I have told you about, the Hyundai Nexo, that is hydrogen fuel cell car. That uses hydrogen as the fuel. It will produce electricity. The car will run by that electricity produced. Emission zero emission. It can also be used as fuel for spacecraft propulsion. That means our GSLV rocket engine, we are using hydrogen as the fuel. Hydrogen. Hydrogen electric hybrid, we are using hydrogen from the fuel cell. Electricity is produced. That electricity is used to run the motor, EV. Hydrogen fuel cell. Gray methane, brown methane, we have discussed, right? Likewise, color coding for hydrogen. Blue hydrogen made from CH4, methane. Green hydrogen made from renewable energy. Brown hydrogen made from coal. Gray hydrogen made from CH4. This is made from CH4 where carbon dioxide is captured and stored. Here carbon dioxide is emitted into the atmosphere during the production of hydrogen. See, while using hydrogen as the fuel, no emission is there. But during the production of hydrogen, emission will be there. See, in the blue hydrogen, what they will do? They will store the pollutant carbon dioxide and they will capture it. Here, gray hydrogen, they will release it to the atmosphere. That is the difference. In the green hydrogen, no carbon dioxide emission is there, no emission. Brown hydrogen, carbon dioxide emitted into the atmosphere. Where pollution is more? High carbon content. This brown hydrogen and gray hydrogen. Where carbon content less? Here it is captured. Here, no carbon emission, no carbon dioxide emission is there. So now among all these four, which is the better option to produce hydrogen? Zero carbon content. no pollution at all. The green hydrogen, right? The green hydrogen made from renewable energy, no carbon dioxide is emitted. This is the better option, green hydrogen. But for practical production, blue hydrogen is suitable. Gray hydrogen. Gray hydrogen means from methane it is produced, carbon dioxide is released into the atmosphere. Carbon dioxide is released into the atmosphere. Extracted from hydrocarbons, methane, byproduct will be carbon dioxide. In India, maximum hydrogen produced by this means. See, we are a developing country, right? We can produce carbon. We have that advantage when compared to the other developed countries around the globe. That's why we are choosing this option. Blue hydrogen means from fossil fuel only, but carbon dioxide is captured there. It is captured and stored. Blue hydrogen. Green hydrogen, no carbon footprint. From the renewable energy sources, it is produced. Renewable energy sources. India's first green hydrogen blending station. First green hydrogen blending in 2023. NTPC Limited, Jan 2023. First green hydrogen blending unit, Kawas Township, Surat, Gujarat. Green hydrogen means what? From renewable energy resource without any carbon footprint. The best, cleanest source. Okay. Green hydrogen 5%, natural gas 5%. Blending they have started with the natural gas. Blending hydrogen with natural gas as a fuel. For the first time in Surat, Gujarat, they have started this on a pilot basis. India's first hydrogen powered engine. Reliance companies. Reliance Industries Limited have developed this engine technology, not the complete engine technology, where hydrogen combustion capacity engine is developed, not the fuel cell. In the fuel cell, what happens? The hydrogen will produce electricity. That electricity will be used to run the battery motor. Here, the combustion engine technology developed by Reliance Industries Limited. Then Asia's first hydrogen powered train. World's first, Russia. Asia's first, China. Asia's first hydrogen train. World's first, Germany, 2018. In 2018, Germany used hydrogen as a fuel in their train. In Asia, China used hydrogen as a fuel in the train. India's very own hydrogen powered truck in collaboration with Ballard and Adani Corporation. Asia's first hydrogen mining truck, normal truck. Adani Enterprises, Ballard Power in collaboration with Ashok Leyland, they have developed, already launched. It was due to launch in 2023, but launched this year in Feb. This year it was launched. Hydrogen powered truck. In the place of fuel, we will be using hydrogen. That's it. That kind of truck. Zero emission. Then this one, India's first waste to hydrogen plant. From the waste which is generated in the metro cities. Actually, this was planned in Pune, but right now this project is cancelled due to some various technical issues. It will be resumed in future. Right now it is cancelled. India's first plant, waste to hydrogen plant. National Green Hydrogen Mission, you need to know all these values, etc., what they are planning to do. But right now, it is better to know the schemes and plans that will be published in the Yojana magazine by next year. Okay. What we might think generally, so do we have to know all these things like over 8 lakh crore in total investment, creation of 6 lakh job, 50 million metric tons of annual greenhouse gas emission, etc.? Yes, we need to know. So all those things values, how difficult it is for us to remember. It is difficult, right? Because there will be a number of terms. Then in the examination, they will give statement. All these options as statements. You need to choose among them which are correct and wrong. For that, you need to know. But we cannot know each and every scheme policy that is there. Then we need to choose which is most important, which technology you feel, which technology scheme you feel will make a drastic difference in the lives of the public. That you need to know. Obviously, green hydrogen, the future technology, these kind of schemes you should know. India is planning to have green hydrogen production capacity of at least 5 million metric tons per annum, 5 million metric tons, and extending it in the future. In an examination, they have asked this question, Nefion. What is Nefion that is seen in the news recently? Sulfonic acid polymer membrane used in the production of green hydrogen. Sulfonic acid polymer membrane used in the ethanol production. Silicon sheet used in solar cell production. Phosphoric acid polymer membrane used in green ammonia production. It's a polymer membrane. Yes, that's true. Nefion, chemical polymer membrane used in the production of green hydrogen. Nefion. This perfluorinated sulfonic acid polymer membrane called Nefion. Sulfonic acid polymer membrane. They have developed this to produce green hydrogen. Green hydrogen. Okay. Water gas, carbon monoxide plus hydrogen. Carbon monoxide plus nitrogen. Producer gas. Among blue hydrogen, green hydrogen, gray hydrogen, which is which we having zero carbon emission, green hydrogen produced from renewable sources, right? In the coal, we have how many types? Coal. Okay, take a break. We'll continue. Based on the percentage of carbon present in it, based on the percentage of carbon present in it, coal classified into majorly four types: anthracite, bituminous, lignite, and peat. Anthracite, bituminous, lignite, and peat. Okay. More amount of carbon is present in anthracite. Anthracite. If carbon content is more, then it will burn well, it will produce more heat. That's it. It will produce more amount of heat energy. The better quality coal, that is anthracite, or which contains more amount of coal. See, economic survey, every year they will give very important economic survey. See, these terms, percentage, values, comparisons. Let's say, for example, when compared to our neighboring countries, the percentage of youth present in India is more. If the amount, a percentage or numbers of youth which are more in a country, will it help us or will it adversely affect us? 100%. More number of youth means more number of working persons. More number of working people means economy will boom compared to older age people. But the trend is changing recently in India. More number of old age people. More number of old age people are there means what will happen? Yes, liability increases both on government as well as the individual, right? Likewise, the percentage, the comparison, the ratio, what is the human wellness index, happiness index, or hunger index, etc., etc. Likewise, here, let's say, for example, see, right now, Karnataka is majorly dependent on dash source for electricity: solar, thermal, hydel. What source? To produce electricity from Karnataka. Karnataka is majorly dependent on hydel power plants, hydroelectric, from the water stored in our dams. From that, we are producing more amount of electricity. India majorly dependent on the solar shift started recently, right? Many years we are using thermal power plants. India right now majorly using thermal power plant. Thermal means we use coal to produce electricity. Coal. Where in Karnataka do we have thermal power plants? In Karnataka, thermal power plant. Raichur thermal power station. Then near Ballari Kudligi, we have thermal power plant. Where? Shaktinagar and Raichur, thermal power plant. An enormous amount of heat is produced by burning coal. That heat is used to produce steam. That steam will be used to run the steam turbine. Then electricity will be produced. But the problem is pollution. Enormous amount of pollution will be there. The suitable, sustainable, renewable alternatives are solar and other sources of energy, electricity, right? Here, see, percentage of share of different sources in installed capacity. Here, coal, 49.2, major source of energy right now. Major source of energy. This is last year's report. The trend shows by financial year 30, by 2030, coal based power requirement or source will be 32 and 37.7 from solar. India will turn into majorly solar powered nation, by the help of PV means what? Photovoltaic cell, photovoltaic panel, right? Then 10.6 hydro power plants, hydro, Karnataka majorly. Then 10.4 wind, Tamil Nadu majorly wind. In Karnataka also we have wind turbines, right? Then very negligible amount of gas, diesel, etc. powered sources. Major source right now is thermal. We are shifting to very suitable conventional resource, that is solar. But what is the problem with solar power plants? It requires huge amount of area, right? Acres of land, and needs maintenance. The panel should be cleaned regularly, etc. That is required. That is the basic problem. In examination, the percentage, etc. mentioned in economic survey will be asked. What percentage currently it's there? What percentage solar, etc. India's conventional sources of energy means where the energy resources are present. In geography, you will study in detail. See, major natural gas resources here. Natural gas means the fossil fuel. In Mumbai High we have. In some part of the Tamil Nadu region we do have, but majorly Mumbai High we have. Then coal. Have you seen the movie MS Dhoni? MS Dhoni. Where he is from? Jharkhand, right? This region, Raniganj, major coal field, West Bengal, Jharkhand, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, then Bihar, etc. That region. The northeast also we have. In the northeast we have rat mines. Have you seen the rat mines? Rat mines means they will make a hole. They will dig deep into the coal mines. The size of the coal mine hole will be the shape of a human. He continuously digs, collects a coal, go inside deep into the mine and comes back. Many a times, many people due to the collapse of the coal mines died inside these rat mines. There is a very big issue in the northeast region, rat mines. Just see a YouTube video after the class about the rat mines, how difficult the job is, rat mine. Then we have oil fields, Mumbai High, mainly this region. Then other, that natural gas produced here is supplied till Delhi, etc. region by pipeline. More amount of carbon percentage is present with anthracite, more than 80% of carbon. This is the highest grade of coal, which produces very high amount of energy. Anthracite. Then bituminous we have 70 to 90% carbon content, 70 to 90%, also used in power generation, etc. and to produce coke. Bituminous coal, most widely used coal, and the most widely found coal in India, bituminous, the Jharkhand, Orissa, West Bengal, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh region, bituminous. Then peat, less than 60% carbon, low grade coal. Then lignite, 25 to 35% coal. This is the form of peat itself. See, highest amount of coal reserve in India is there in Jharkhand, the Raniganj region. 83.15 billion tons, the reserve, billion tons, it is there. Then Odisha we have Chhattisgarh, West Bengal, but adjacent regions. Coke. By heating bituminous coal, by heating bituminous coal at high temperature in the absence of air. In the absence of air, by heating bituminous coal, we get a byproduct called coke. This coke can be used in the manufacturing of steel, etc. Steel manufacturing, coke. See, by heating coconut shell, by heating wood and converting it into charcoal, that will be used for heating purpose only, right? Later, the same fuel can be used, the coconut shell directly. Why convert it into coke? Because more amount of carbon will be there, that will produce more amount of heat when compared to the original source. Likewise, when compared to the bituminous coal, converting it into coke, it will produce more amount of heat. That's why they're converting it into coke form. Then coal tar byproduct, thick black fluid produced during the process of manufacturing coke, used in anti-dandruff shampoo, the face cream, face wash, etc. in those coal tar. Coal gas, how it is produced? Coal gas by heating coal in the absence of air. By heating coal in the absence of air, it is produced fuel. The byproduct is coke. Khanan Prahari mobile application. Khanan Prahari. This mobile application is there to report unauthorized coal mining in India. If you find out any unauthorized coal mining and if you want to report without they being identified, that is Khanan Prahari mobile app. Your identity will be secret, secured. Unauthorized coal mining activity can be reported with this application. In South India, first public sector. Can you name some public sector enterprise companies? BHEL, BEML, HAL, etc. Public sector undertaking company, right? First, public sector FGD, coal based power generation station. Singaneri thermal power plant. Singareni thermal power plant in Telangana. First public sector coal-based power generating station in the South India with flue gas desulfurization plant. That means from the gases coming out, harmful gases, the sulfur content is removed. Desulfurization plant is also attached with it. We do have a thermal power plant in Karnataka, but that is not public sector undertaking enterprise. This is the first public sector enterprise, Singaneri. FGD means flue gas desulfurization. Sulfur content is removed. That's it. National Coal Miners Day celebrated on May 4th. See, every month, there will be a day for so and so thing. For example, AIDS Day, Red Cross Day, Thalassemia Day, World Forest Day, Water Day, Soil Day, any day you name. There will be a day, right? If there is anything where India is involved, for example, National Solar Alliance, who is the leader? India. India created that alliance with many other countries, right? Like that, if there is anything where India is involved and where India is doing the theme, etc., and Indian prime minister is participating with other countries, then that should be remembered. That's it. History. Coal mining industry in India began in 1774 when East India Company came to India. They started Raniganj coal field, Raniganj in that Jharkhand region, Jharkhand West Bengal region. Raniganj, first coal field, largest coal field also. Anthracite, bituminous, lignite, peat. We have which coal contains more amount of carbon? Anthracite. Which kind of coal is present in India? Maximum. Bituminous coal we have in India. Bituminous coal we have in India. Okay. We have discussed about different types of diseases, right? Diseases. In the recent examination question paper which we were discussing, there was a question about virus kind of thing, I hope. Virus contains one cell or how many cell or no cell? Non-cellular entity, right? Bacteria? Single cell. Protozoa? Actually, few protozoas are unicellular, few are multicellular. Majorly they are unicellular. For example, amoeba, euglena, paramecium, etc. See, which are all the important microorganisms which we know? Microorganisms. Name the microorganisms which you know. Microorganism means which you cannot see with your naked eye. They are microscopic. 10 power minus 6 meter at least the size should be. 1 meter divided into 10 lakh parts, the smallest. 1 micrometer. Name some microorganisms. Amoeba, etc. comes under protozoa. Then bacteria. Then virus. Then fungi. Few fungi are microscopic, few fungi are not microscopic. Give some examples for fungi. Mm. Mm. Is mushroom a algae or a fungi? Mushroom. Mushroom edible or not? Few are edible, few are not. The edible mushroom which you eat, will you consider it as a vegetarian or non-vegetarian? Vegetarian. Mushroom, it's a fungi. Fungus means which grows on, which feeds on dead and decaying matter. Dead and decaying matter. In your farmland, plantation, etc., where generally you see mushroom being grown. Generally, the mushroom will be seen on the dead, fallen bark branch of a tree, right? In my district, we do have coconut plantations. The fallen leaves of the coconuts will be collected at some part of the plantation. There generally somewhere, means sometime in the year, the mushroom will bloom, right? Mushroom feeds on dead and decaying matter, majorly plant matter, dead cells. It's a fungi, but it's edible. It's nutritious. It's good for health. Okay. We have considered it as vegetarian. Let it be. It's a vegetarian. Then few algae. Algae, let's consider it as a macroorganism only. Algae, for example, pachi. That's algae grown on the surface of tree, etc. Protozoa examples. Protozoa. Amoeba, Euglena, Paramecium. Then very important, Plasmodium vivax, protozoa, important protozoa. Then bacteria, give some examples. Name some bacterial diseases. See, protozoa generally unicellular, few are multicellular, generally unicellular protozoa. Okay. Eukaryote or prokaryote? Eukaryote means definite nucleus is there. If nucleus is there, eukaryote. If not, prokaryote. It's a eukaryote. Eukaryote with a definite nucleus. Virus, non-cellular entity. Non-cellular entity. No cell. It contains a no cell. No cell means no nucleus, nothing. Bacteria, unicellular. Prokaryote, very important. Prokaryote. Prokaryote means contains no nucleus. Definite nucleus is not there in. Definite nucleus is not there in the bacteria. Okay. Then fungi, generally multicellular. Multicellular. Few are unicellular. Then eukaryote. Fungi. Name some bacterial diseases. Bacterial diseases. Dengue caused by virus. Dengue virus, viral disease, spreads by the mosquito called Aedes aegypti, vector-borne disease. Okay, dengue, viral disease. AIDS, virus, bacteria. I'll name the diseases. Tell me whether are bacterial diseases or viral diseases. Okay. The important diseases which we come across in our day-to-day life. First one, dengue. Dengue is viral disease, right? Dengue, viral disease. Typhoid, Salmonella typhi. Typhoid usually comes by contaminated food or contaminated water. Salmonella typhi, it's a bacteria, typhoid bacterial disease. Cholera, bacterial disease, cholera. Vibrio cholera, bacterial disease. Then plague. Yersinia pestis, it's a bacterial disease. That's the specialty. Actually, it also spreads through fleas. A rat gets the disease and it dies. The disease spreads through with the help of a vector, insect, blood-sucking insect. Plague is a bacterial disease. Yersinia pestis bacteria, plague. Leprosy, Rakta Kanniru, Kushtroga. Leprosy. Mycobacterium leprosy. Which disease? Bacterial disease. Mycobacterium leprosy. Tuberculosis, TB. Mycobacterium tuberculosis, bacterial disease, TB, bacterial disease. Then HIV, AIDS, acquired immunodeficiency syndrome caused by HIV, human immunodeficiency virus, HIV virus, AIDS, corona, 100% virus, corona. Then hepatitis, which affects our liver, hepatitis. Viral disease, hepatitis. Polio, polio. Viral disease. Poliomyelitis, poliovirus or enterovirus, polio, viral disease, polio. Influenza, viral disease, influenza. Then common cold, rhinovirus, viral disease, common cold. Any other disease which you can remember? STD, treponema pallidum, bacteria, syphilis. Then malaria, which disease? Virus. Plasmodium vivax protozoa cause malaria. It's a protozoan disease, malaria. The disease spreads through mosquito, vector, female Anopheles mosquito, vector-borne disease. Okay. Then we have Entamoeba histolytica. Entamoeba histolytica. That is vomiting dysentery due to contamination of amoeba. Recently, have you heard about the news brain-eating amoeba seen in the waters of Kerala, Shabrimala, right? Amoeba is a parasite. It's a omnivore. Omnivore means it eats both veg and non-veg. That means plant-based algae diet it will also eat. It will also eat animal-based food like animal cells, small organisms, other algae, etc. It will eat other protozoa. It will eat amoeba. It will destroy brain cells. That's why brain eating amoeba. Entamoeba histolytica. Entamoeba histolytica, it's a amoeba disease, protozoan disease. Entamoeba histolytica. Then any disease. During the time of corona, the third wave, have you heard about the disease inside the nose, black kind of fungi which grown in many people who got amphotericin B injection, which was very costly and not available during that time? Inside the nose, the tissue were dead. The fungi started eating the tissue. Many people got it operated and many people died. There are various kinds of microorganisms are there around us. We should do what we should do. We should increase our immunity. That's it. A person in US, just by the bread mold means the mold which grown on the bread. If you keep the bread for few days, the mold will grow, right? That mold is fungi. It is eating the dead cells of the bread. When he inhaled the air from that bread mold, it went and deposited inside his nose. It started to grow there. It destroyed the cells of his body. Nearly half of his face was removed. He's living, but various facial deformation. Likewise, and many a times we have done that. Even we have seen many fungus in our at our home or other places, right? But we have better immunity. That's it. Immunity is the key against any disease. Fungal infections. Fungal infections. Name some. Mucormycosis during the time of corona. Mucormycosis, the black fungal disease. Black fungal disease. And very important thing, the ringworm, circular shaped skin infection, skin allergy, ringworm. That is fungal infection, ringworm. Then athlete's foot disease. Athlete's foot disease. Why the name athlete's foot disease? See, generally, the fungi will grow when it gets a suitable environment. If the wall starts to leak, water leakage, then fungus will grow on this wall, right? Fungus. It requires moisture. It requires suitable temperature. It requires dead cell. If it is there, it will grow. That is the case. If your skin contains more dead cells, if there is moisture, if there is heat, fungus will grow there. Athlete's foot disease, why? They will be using shoes, socks regularly. They will run moisture, sweat. Will they wash their socks, shoes regularly? No. Then dead cells accumulated there. Fungal infection will happen in between the finger and the foot. Fungal infection will happen. That is athlete's foot disease. Many skin allergies, infections are due to this fungus. If you keep maintain hygiene, this will not come. That's it. Simple. Fungal infections. This athlete's foot disease and the ringworm is majorly due to a fungi called trichophyton. Trichophyton fungi infection. Trichophyton. Protozoa, unicellular, multicellular, eukaryote, eukaryote. Bacteria, unicellular, prokaryote. Only bacteria and blue-green algae are prokaryote. Prokaryote means they do not contain definite nucleus. They does not contain definite nucleus. Prokaryotes. Then all other organisms are eukaryotes. Algae, not the blue-green algae, other algae. Then fungi. Virus, it does not contain cell. If it does not contain any cell, that's why cell is not there, nucleus will also not be there. The structure of the virus, very important organism. The structure of the virus, it will be having a protein shell called capsid. Protein shell, inside which either DNA or RNA is present. Either DNA or RNA. Virus. Examples of DNA viruses: hepatitis B, influenza, etc. RNA viruses: corona, HIV, etc. RNA virus. Which type of viruses are more harmful? RNA, DNA. RNA viruses are more harmful compared to DNA virus. father of modern genetics, who is called as the father of modern genetics? Genetics means what? From generation to generation, from the genes of the parents, we are getting some traits, right? That we can also call as heredity. Heredity. From my mother, I got a gene which has the information about height. From my father, I also got the same gene. One gene shorter height, one gene taller height, which I will get the dominant trait. Which is more dominant trait, I will get, right? Like that. Heredity from generation to generation. Genes, gene transfer, genetics. Mutation means mutation. Change in the genetic structure. That too. Change in the genetic structure, sudden change in the genetic structure. In this generation only, if there is a sudden change in the genetic structure, that is called as mutation. Mutation might cause cancer. Mutation, for example, if you are exposed to radioactive radiations due to mutation, cancer will cause. That is mutation. Gregor John Mendel, father of modern genetics, Gregor John Mendel. He studied on garden pea plant. Garden pea plant. Garden pea means botany. Garden pea plant he studied on. Okay. Nearly 7 years he studied on garden pea plant. The smaller plant. From that he got a smaller plant. See, generally, if you take or purchase or get any plant from your friend's home, what you will ask? Whether this rose plant give pink color rose or white color rose. The stem from that plant will also give the same color rose, right? That is genetics, right? From generation to generation, the traits are transferred, carry forwarded, genetics. In biotechnology, probably in the day after tomorrow class we'll discuss. We need to know what gene is, what DNA is, what chromosome is. Do you know what chromosome? How many chromosomes do we have? Say this is our animal cell. Inside the cell we have nucleus. If we have nucleus, we are called as eukaryotes, right? Eukaryotes. Along with the nucleus, we also have ribosomes. We also have endoplasmic reticulum. We also have Golgi complex. We also have mitochondria and many other cell organelles. Many other cell organelles we have. Inside the nucleus, we have chromatin network. This chromatin network, thread-like network, during the time of cell division, will be converted into short and thick chromosomes. The chromosomes present in us are present in pair. They're present in pair. That's why humans are called as diploid organism. Diploid means chromosome in two pair. How many chromosomes do we have? 23 pair of chromosomes. That means 46 chromosomes. We have 46 chromosomes. In male, we have which chromosomes? X. Male. X. Y chromosome. In female, we have X chromosome. Female XX chromosome we have. Male XY chromosome, female XX chromosome. In both male and female, the number of chromosomes will be The same number will be same. The type of chromosomes will be different. In male, we have XY, female XX chromosomes. The numbers are same. What if the number of chromosomes are different in a person? What might be the reason? If in case a person having 45 chromosomes, a person having 47 chromosomes, then genetic disease, genetic disease like Turner syndrome, Down syndrome, Klinefelter syndrome, etc. That is not the normal case. Do they have the ability to reproduce? No. Mentally disabled in few cases, yes. Right? Genetic disease. Normally, people will be having how many? 46 chromosomes, 23 pair of chromosomes. Inside the chromosome, see, like this chromosomes are present, right? Chromosome pair. In the chromosomes, we have DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, DNA. What is the structure? How is the structure of DNA? Structure of DNA. Like this, it is there, right? This is called as helical structure or double-stranded structure. Helix, twisted ladder kind of thing, right? Twisted ladder, helix, helical structure, DNA. This helical structure of DNA was discovered by Watson and Crick. Watson and Crick model. This is called as Watson and Crick model. Now here, these are the chromosomes, right? X chromosome, let's say, in female chromosome. Here, DNA is present here. DNA here also in both the chromosomes. Deoxyribonucleic acid. These are the nitrogenous bases. DNA. In the cell, we have nucleus. Inside the nucleus, we have chromosome. Inside the chromosome, we have DNA. Inside the DNA, we have genes. What is the size of a human cell? Generally in micro scale. Generally in micro scale. Micro means 10 power minus 6. 1 meter divided into 10 lakh pieces. That's small, which we cannot see. How many cells do we have? An adult human being. An adult human being will be having trillions of lakh crore cells. Trillions of cells we have. In each and every cell, there is a nucleus. In each and cell, there will be chromosomes. There will be DNA. There will be genes. So, have you heard about DNA fingerprinting? DNA fingerprinting. To detect the lineage or to find the parent of a baby or whether the baby is his only or to detect the dead body or to detect the criminal, this DNA fingerprinting is done. Like our fingerprint, DNA fingerprint is unique. What DNA fingerprinting means, this DNA is there, right? Nitrogenous bases. These nitrogenous bases are arranged in different pattern. The difference will be there. Even by a small strand of your hair, a hair, your DNA can be detected. From the charred body, the burnt body, with a single cell, DNA can be detected. With your nail, with your skin, DNA can be detected, right? It can be compared with your parents, with your siblings, with your family members. That is possible. That is possible. In DNA, We have nitrogenous base pairs called adenine, thymine, guanine, and cytosine. Very much important. See, RNA full form, RNA, huh? Ribonucleic acid, DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, right? RNA ribonucleic acid. We have adenine, uracil, cytosine, and guanine. See, uracil is present in RNA, thymine is present in DNA, ATGC. This adenine, thymine, guanine, cytosine are arranged in different pattern. For example, in you ATGC, ATGC, for him ACGT, etc. The pattern arrangement will be different. That's why each and every person's DNA arrangement pattern that we call as DNA fingerprint will be unique, very much unique. Your fingerprint can be changed, modified, damaged by various surgical procedure, but that cannot be possible with our DNA fingerprinting. That cannot be changed at all. That's why it's very much unique, right? Deoxyribonucleic acid, DNA. We do get our DNA from maternal and paternal side, right? From mother as well as father. How much percentage do we get from mother, father? Is there any standard percentage? No. The dominant traits will be transferred from generation to generation. That's it. For example, let's say many hereditary diseases we get, right? Genetic diseases. Like, for example, simply the color blindness. Color blindness. Many diseases are sex linked. That means it will be exhibited in either male or female. In the other gender, it will be suppressed. For example, color blindness, it's seen only in male. The female will be generally the carriers. From generation to generation, they will carry the color blindness trait. We have discussed, right? In an examination, they have asked parents, mother, father. The mother is having color blindness trait in her gene. If they get two children, one male, one female, who will get color blindness means female child or male child. Female child will be the carrier for next generation. Male child will get the disease. If you have color blindness, you cannot differentiate between what colors? Majorly, there are many types of color blindness. Generally, you cannot differentiate between the traffic signal lights, red and green. It will be visible for the color blind person in a grayish shade. Grayish shade, right? In tomorrow's class, we'll discuss about the defense technology, a very important topic, right? Where we'll discuss about different type of missiles. Then integrated guided missile development program. Under this program, nearly 5 missiles were developed. We'll discuss the range of these missiles, and we'll discuss about the history of Defense Research and Development Organization, DRDO, the Department of Defense, who heads the Department of Defense. Later, we'll move on to different type of submarines, different class of submarines which we have: SSK, SSN, SSBN class of submarines. Then different type of ships, attack ships, then patrolling ships, etc. We have will discuss in tomorrow's class. Any doubts? No doubts. Right. For sure.